My 23F boyfriend, 26M, has a bad combover and won't get rid of it. My boyfriend's hair started receding super young. I've known him for almost 4 years, together for 3+, and he's still the handsomest man in the world to me. He always had a little bit of a combover at first, but now it's much worse. His hair is really long on one side. He swoops it over the top of his head and gels it down. He uses a skin paint type product to fill in the gaps where you'd see bare skin. I love him dearly and want him to do what works for him. But, as selfish as this is, it's hard for me when we're out in public when we get stared at, laughed at, comments made. I've even spotted people taking photos. It really is a very intense and bizarre hairstyle that grabs people's attention. We have been together over 3 years and I've never touched his hair. I can't bear to tell him, but it looks really bad. We've spoken about it. I've never told him it looks bad. If anything, I try to tell him it looks good in the meantime to boost his confidence because I know he struggles with his appearance. He says he wants to accept his truth and eventually go totally bald, but he isn't ready yet, and he doesn't want to get a transplant. I'm stuck because we've been together for over 3 years and nothing has changed. He can do whatever he wants, it's his body and his hair. And I feel selfish for feeling this way, but I can't keep it in any longer. He is 26 and says he wants to get to 30 before he goes entirely bald. I don't know what to do in that time. I've never seen his hair not styled. He's never showed me the bald area. When he stays over, he sleeps upright and will go home in the mornings to wash, restyle his hair and then come back to my house to hang out for the day. I worry when we're out together that someone will take it too far, throw a drink at his head, try and mess his hair up. I worry about walking past groups of men outside bars, pubs, clubs when I should feel safe walking with my boyfriend, because I don't know if they'll start on him or if they'll start on me. When he talks to people in public, they don't look him in the eye, they just stare at his head. It's so painful for me to watch because I know how judged he must feel. I don't want him to feel that way, as much as it's awkward for me. The main priority for me is that I just want him to feel confident. Even some of our own friends, family have made comments to me behind his back and I have to act like it doesn't hurt, but it's tiring. I love him so much, but I'm tired of being on the receiving end of a lot of piss taking because of it. As hard as I try to defend him and us and reinforce my love for him, I still can't help but feel drained and sometimes embarrassed. I just want him to be happy with how he looks. I want him to wake up from a restful sleep with no neck ache from being wedged upright all night. I want him to be able to not spend so much money on hair products and sprays, and to not fear a little bit of wind or rain. I want him to be truly happy in himself. I want to go out and feel like I can relax with him and not worry about who I might catch taking photos or about to make a loud remark about him. People are fucking horrible. No matter how handsome, beautiful I tell him he is, how much I tell him being bald would suit him, nothing is coming of it. I fear he will never get rid of it, and as much as I would never leave him for something as shallow as his hairstyle, it is having a major effect on me that I feel like I can't ever vocalize to him. I don't want to think about a future of wedding photos, family photos where he can't look back and see a confident man. I want him to get rid of it. I'm so tired. And as much as I sympathize with him, as much as I know this has nothing to do with me, and that I should love him as he is without fear of judgment, I'm just so tired. I don't genuinely think he knows how tiring it is. And I feel bad for saying it, but I need to get it out. I just want someone to understand. I just don't know what to do, to be honest. Opinions appreciated. TL. Our boyfriend has a bad combover. He won't get rid of it. It's making life really hard. Just want him to be confident naturally.
You need to stop protecting him from others and tell him plainly you don't like it. Not what other people think, or what you think they're doing, saying behind his back. What you think. What you actually would want for him. It's either that, or keep waiting for 30. And keep lying to him. Keep trying to manage him, and protect him, by being dishonest with at this point, you are lying to him. And that should be tiring. You should stop doing that. You're not doing either of you any favors. This is part of a serious adult relationship. Stop dodging the conflict and the scary bits.
Have an open and honest conversation with him about your concerns. Let him know that you love him no matter what, but that his hairstyle is causing you both unnecessary stress and attention. Offer to support him in finding a new hairstyle or trying out being bald. Communication is key in any relationship.
There's not an easy what's concerning is that it seems he isn't vulnerable with you. I've been this person and always held my stomach tight when I was with my ex. Never wanted him to see 1 ounce of on me. It took someone compassionate and kind to help me put my guard down, and then I felt safe enough to relax. He can have a sense of humor about Jim Jeffries' High and Dry special on Netflix.
Your current hairstyle isn't flattering and you have other style options. But I'm dating you and not your hair. I love you and I will support whatever option he's keeping it because he thinks you like it. You're doing him a disservice.
Sorry, but after that comprehensive description I am absolutely dying to see a pic of this combover.
Maybe you could start by telling him how you feel, how it makes you sad to see him sleeping uncomfortably and going home to restyle, etc., and then, could you suggest going to a hair salon together? You could frame it like, I found this great barber salon that has a lot of experience in styling hair that's, or however he likes to refer to his hair. I want you to be able to find a handsome, low-maintenance style that you really feel good about. Can we go together?
Woof, this resonates. My high school boyfriend was balding and had a comb forward. If that makes sense, that didn't conceal the fact that he didn't have much hair on top of his head. People made rude comments to me. I wish I had handled it handling others. Sounds like you back him up when you're talking to friends and family, which is so important. I also think you should work to stop the triangulation. Tell them that you're not the person they should be speaking to and it puts you in an awkward position. No one likes to be talked about or managed behind their back. If someone is rude, tell them that isn't funny. I can tell you that it would break his heart to think that something so embarrassing for him is a topic of conversation with friends, and to him about it will be harder. You know him best, maybe a letter, maybe a quiet talk at his place. You've told him before that you think he's handsome and sexy, but now is the time to reiterate it. I think you should tell him that you love him and you know that he wants to wait for 30 to go bald, but that you feel that it's time to shave. Depending on how the conversation goes, you may want to say that his efforts don't look natural, he's used to seeing them, but from an outside point of view it isn't creating the look that he is going for. You know him. Will angry and lash out? Will stoic but heartbroken? Will he cry? You should be prepared for all. Hair is so personal, so important to people. He probably feels anxious about his hair daily. Don't expect him to make a decision that day, but I do think you owe it to him to have that conversation.
Greater than it's hard for me when we're out in public, when we get stared at, laughed at, comments made. I've even spotted people taking photos. It really is a very intense and bizarre hairstyle that grabs people's really spoken about it. I've never told him it looks bad. If anything, I try to tell him it looks good in the meantime to boost his confidence because I know he struggles with his lord that makes it so much worse. You're actively encouraging this. You wrote like 6 paragraphs about how you're struggling to find a way to communicate about this. There is no magical way to shield his ego here. Just tell him. He has to come to terms with it. You can help him find a look that suits him after the fact.
Greater than I've never seen his hair not styled. He's never showed me the bald area. When he stays over he sleeps upright and will go home in the mornings to wash, restyle his hair and then come back to my house to hang out for the day. I don't think you or anyone else realizes how serious this is. You've been dating for over 3 years and he's going this far to keep this from you. He has eyes. He can see the way people look at him. His obsession likely won't be helped by you tactfully telling him you don't like it. My husband's cousin is also obsessive with hiding his balding. I rarely see him without a beanie. He just started seeing a therapist and he said they're working on his insecurities around his hair. I think he will likely get a hair transplant because he can afford it. Your BF can't even talk to you about an obvious fact. I think you need to actually tell him you don't like it. He may shut down, lash out, or break up with you. You should prepare yourself for anything. He really needs to confront this.
Greater than I've never seen his hair not styled. He's never showed me the bald area. When he stays over he sleeps upright and will go home in the mornings to wash, restyle his hair and then come back to my house to hang out for the day. I'd focus on this. We've been together for 3 years, and we can't even sleep together and wake up in the morning together because of your hair. I feel like you won't let me see the real you. And I feel like your insecurity is dictating our life together. I want to build a life with you, but this insecurity is holding us. He can't even talk to you about it. I'd suggest therapy. This is a severe insecurity. The comb-over sounds more like a comfort than anything. I don't think telling him how bad it looks will be enough to let him let go of it. He needs to deal with the actual insecurity. But stop lying to him and telling him you like it. Tell him it calls more attention to his baldness, and you dislike people staring when you're out together.
My wife was trying some new deodorant. It wasn't working. I could smell her bow, and could smell it on clothes she wore. She was putting some on after a shower and I said, I think you need to find a new option. That deodorant is not working for you. Let her know the truth. I didn't blame her, and I let her know at a time when she could actively do something about it.
Absolutely. And if he's open to shaving, completely help him out. My now husband wasn't ready to fully shave, and then did it as a charity fundraiser. So he had a reason and could grow it out again if he hated it. But it was a soft entry to shaving, looks hot BTW. You could offer a hot shave with a straight razor. Find a place that wraps his face and head with hot towels and does the whole shebang. It apparently feels amazing. Prep the barber first so he can help build up his confidence. Bonus for finding a cool and masculine, hip-looking place in case he feels less like a man. Insecurities, cause bald men can be sexy. Help him out. Step 1, stop lying to him. Step 2, help him as his partner.
My brother started balding in his early 20s. I straight up told him at Christmas a few years ago that he needed to change his hairstyle. He looked like a 40-year-old math teacher between his hair and style choices. Our mom told me to stop being mean, but the next family gathering he came to, his head was shaved and he looked 20 years younger.
Yeah, it's hard to give people you care about harsh feedback, but in some cases it's legitimately helpful.
True love, friendship is being honest, in a kind and constructive way, with someone when they're leaving the house looking ridiculous.
Yeah, this part was incredibly heartbreaking to me. I'm certain he knows, and that it's probably all he thinks about. He doesn't need pity any more than random mocking him on the street, but Jesus, he sure needs some mental health support. It sounds absolutely crushing.
Her boyfriend isn't alone either. She should show him subreddits like hair loss or tressless, and that should convince him that there are options for him if he can get on a regimen or change whatever it is he's doing now.
This is what I was thinking. I think the look is less concerning than the significant impact it has on the relationship and his everyday life. This is serious and honestly sounds like he needs to speak to a professional, because sleeping upright and leaving before your partner gets up to go home and do your hair is taking things way too far and is not normal behavior. Tell him that the way his life is completely dictated by his hair is unhealthy and that you're worried about him. That he needs to take steps to address it, because not only is it negatively affecting you, it's also negatively affecting him. This is not normal behavior and obviously stems from deep-seated insecurities that should be addressed with the help of a professional. Be supportive and tell him how much you love him, but that something has to be done. Are you guys never planning on living together? What then?